So you have decided to go in this path of self improvement, and you're facing a whole lot of challenges from home, from friends, from relatives, or people that are very, very close to you, very close acquaintances. And it can be overwhelming sometimes because these are people that, we they ought to support us in everything that we're doing, always be there in everything that we are doing, and love us unconditionally, right? But that's not what's happening, and it's not easy, you know. Number one, congratulations to you know how far you've gone. Even if you just started, like, you have already come a long way by just being enlightened. Like, you are not normal anymore. You know the truth about life. So I would like to illustrate like these opposing forces from our family, friends, and relatives, like gravity. So like gravity brings us down. Gravity brings us down, and the reason why we're not floating in the air is because of gravity. And that's the same thing with success. Um if you don't have an opposing force that is higher than the opposing forces, meaning like from our family, our friends, our relatives, you are going to be sunk and you're going to stay on the ground. And the fact that you're watching this channel, like, that means you don't want to be that person. And me talking from experience, I have had this with like my family, my friends, being against me when I needed them most in this journey that I'm taking. But the thing is that, like, at the end, when I win, like when you guys win, everyone is going to come back and be like, "Oh, I was there for him in the blah 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 blah." And honestly, I believe that you should forgive them. But, like, at the same time, it's you. I think I'll make another video about that. But, like, back to what I was saying about this opposing force. This opposing force, I would like to call it the powers of failure. So that is like discouraging things, like coming against you, telling you can't do it. Maybe it can be your mind. It can also be your mind. So not just like people, like outside guys. So those are like the powers of failure. And how do we come against these powers of failures? And I would like to use the illustration of gravity again. So you know how gravity is bringing us down, but there have been like rocket ships that have gone to space. I don't believe that like these guys went to space, these Apollo guys. I don't know if you guys believe that it was these Apollo guys that went to space. You guys can drop in the in the comments that, like, oh, these Apollo guys, they actually went to space. But I don't think so. Because from I saw some videos that said that the man, Neil Armstrong, was like, no, we actually didn't. We just capped so that you guys can think we're better than China. It really works. So back to what I was saying. They needed someone like Elon Musk now that has actually gone to space. He needed like infrastructure. So see this infrastructure like strength, and like him going against, like, oh, people saying that, oh, he couldn't do it as courage. Then see gravity as like the opposing force, like trying to weigh him down, like make him unable, like his rocket unable to actually go to space. That is the same way like our lives are too. Like, we have opposing forces, like I've already explained, like, non-supportive family, friends, relatives, and bad mindsets. So Elon Musk needs something higher than gravity to actually allow his rocket ship to actually go into space. And that's the same thing that we need in our lives. We need something that is higher than like the opposing forces so that we can actually go and become the person that we actually want to become, right? And what are these two powers that we need to become, like, to overcome the powers of failures? There are two. The first one is strength, and the second one is courage. So what is strength? Strength is holding your ground and holding on to your beliefs regardless of what people are saying, regardless of what the norm is, and regardless of what people think about you. That is what strength is, holding your ground. So let's say you believe in tithing now and someone else does not believe in tithing, but you know that tithing works for you. Is someone who has strength will never give in into another person's belief about, oh, tithing doesn't work. That is someone who has strength. And like I've already said, it's needed for you to come and move against and above those forces that are opposing you. The second one is courage. Courage is when you take that step in the midst of fear. That means when you're afraid of, like, you don't know what's going to happen, you still move. That's what courage is. So that's what courage is about, moving in the midst of fear. Example of courage is when Jesus Christ was like dying, and he was in the Garden of Gethsemane praying a very like painful prayer, and it was like how he wishes that this cup could pass over him, but not my will, but your will, oh Lord. That is what courage is. He was afraid of losing his fellowship with the Father, but he still moved. And those are the things we need to, you know, imbibe into our lives so that we can actually become successful in every given area of our lives. So, what are, an example, like I'll like to give an example about my life. So when I was in secondary school, I like I s- like if you watch this YouTube channel like very well, I already gave my story about how like I encountered God, and like through self improvement. That was so funny. I encountered God through self improvement, and by the way, self improvement is like a path to God. No, when I mean a path to God, I don't mean like like Jesus now. Jesus is the only way to God, but like if you're on this actual path of like self improvement, like you eventually find God. Like one of my, not one of my, the only self improvement YouTuber that I watch, Hamza Ahmed, like in his last video, one of his last videos, he was talking about like the progress he has made against loss. And I was like, that's how I know that this man is actually on self improvement. Because like in the video, he was talking about like Samson and Delilah, and like that is faith. Is something that is a Christian story. And the fact that he knows about that, that means that he's, in the actual path of self improvement. And that means he will find God, who is Jesus Christ from Nazareth. And back to what I was saying about my own story about strength and courage. When I started like preaching in school, it was kind of like tough for me. It was kind of difficult for me because like I was talking to people, number one, who I have already like we have had like a bad past. So I've had a bad past, and like they know about the past. So me talking to them, they're like, "What's like? Is this not the guy that did XYZ?" Yeah, that was the guy that did XYZ. So I needed strength so I could move. So I used to pray every day. By the way, prayer also brings about strength. I used to pray every day. I was strong to like talk to them through the prayers and like taking steps. So, like I said, courage and strength go hand in hand. Without courage, there's no strength. Without strength, there's no courage. I'll explain that later. And like I was also courageous to like to actually like come out and like talk because I already had strength from prayer, and like taking little steps, like reading and like actually knowing God for myself, right? So when by the time by the time I was graduating, like people already knew that I was a strong and very courageous person, and because I was a strong and very courageous person, I was able to do like loads of exploits in that school and like even beyond. And that was like the building block to like the person that you're seeing right now. So so how does strength and courage go hand in hand? Strength and courage go hand in hand because without strength there's no courage, and without courage there's no strength. And I'll explain. You can't take that step if you don't have any power inside you, and that power which is your belief. So like your belief powers how you act. If you believe that you are timid, you act timid. If you believe you are shy, you act shy. So if you believe that you can actually do what God says you should do, your purpose, accomplish those goals, like you would actually like take that step, and that step is called courage. Regardless of what people are going to say, that is courage. Strength, standing your ground. If you don't ever take that step, like that initial step, you can never like be strong, because strength comes through like winning trials and tribulations. And when you win trials and tribulations, you become stronger and stronger and stronger. So this is how strength and courage go hand in hand. So I've given my story. I've said how strength and courage go hand in hand, the meaning of strength and courage. So here are some actionable steps that you can take today so that you can actually like use these two superpowers so that you can actually go against every single obstacle that's in your way. So the first thing that you do is write down the minimum thing. So by the way, in this channel we have goals. So people in this channel that watch this channel, they have goals. They are serious in life. I hope you are too. So you write down what you want to accomplish. What do you want to accomplish? You write it down. Then when you write that down, you write down what is the minimum thing I can do. Like what is the least thing that at least I should do every day so I can actually like get to my goals. Do that every single day. You are going to build strength. That means like of course you're going to find some difficulties in that. As you're building strength in it, You're building strength in it by repetition. Like I already said, strength comes when you go through trials and tribulations. So that minimum thing, you'll be experiencing the least trial and tribulation by doing just that one step. You get, so you keep doing it, you keep doing it, you keep doing it, you become stronger in it. And as you are doing that, you become both strong and courageous because I like we've already established that these two work hand in hand. So do that and also pray. As you pray about your goals, like you become stronger to like accomplish it. Auto suggest. So I've given three. Do the barest minimum. Auto suggest. Auto suggest is when you like tell yourself every single day who you are, what you can do, that you're going to accomplish the goals that you have already set. So with that being said, and I've already said the second one, which is prayer. So do the barest minimum, pray, and auto suggest. With these three things, you're going to build courage. That means you have the ability to step out in midst of fear because of the strength that's already at work in you. So that is strength and courage in one go. So that's how you do it. So, like always, strong. Wait, make sure you read the Rhapsody of Reality Steve. And yes, get one for your friend. Get one for your friend because it will really, really help you in this self improvement journey that you're taking as a Christian. And if you're not a Christian and you're watching this YouTube channel, also read your Rhapsody of Reality C4. It really helped me from going crazy. So, like always, be strong and very courageous. And remember that the word works. Ciao.